feel like I should specify that this is definitely a clickbait title because not all of these are spiders. Like, some of these are arachnids, but not spiders. Because we've got some, like, real famous ones in here, like the camel spider and tailless whip spider. We got a scorpion and a vinegaroon. So, you know, not all spiders, technically, but that's fine. I'm gonna start this list off. We're gonna start this right now. I only know scorpion. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, we're gonna start this list off with an S tier. Tailless whip scorpions. Listen, these things, I love them. Amblipigi. I can't say scientific names, but tailless whip scorpions is what they're commonly known as. I love them. I had 2 of them, named Draco and Harry. Oh my god, dream come true. There's a scene from Harry Potter. So the amount of people who don't seem to know that is so funny. Because I remember I would show people and they looked and they were like, what the fuck? Like, that's a real animal. It doesn't move like that, maybe, but yeah, watch other movies. So yeah. It's not that big either. But it is a real animal. And I had 2 of them. Hence why I named them Draco and Harry. I loved them. They were, oh man. It's such a perfect animal for a movie like this, but they're real. And I loved them. I loved having one. This is one of my favorite videos of him. Look at this guy. Look at it. He just snap. Look how cool that is. Look at those claws. Look at this guy. Look what he's doing. Snap. Look at that. Snap. Snap. It's so funny. I love these guys. Anyways, they're an S tier. Not even a spider. Just an arachnid. They're still S tier. No questions asked. Easily an S tier. I love them. They also hang out on, like, the sides of things. So, like, they sit on walls. It's so funny. They sit on walls. Can you imagine just sitting there? Oh my god. Okay, now we have here, look. Jumping spider. Jumping spider. I'm sure you all know jumping spiders. They jump. They're small, usually. Very self-explanatory. Very self-explanatory. But they're, like, really cute. Like, they're really... Jumping spiders are cute. Every spider in the Selicidae family is just adorable, honestly. There are no bad jumping spiders. Like, there's no bad jumping spider. And they do that little dance. Like, I have peacock spiders specifically. Like, I have the peacock jumping spiders specifically down here. And they're never bad. Look at him doing a dance! How can you be mad at him? He's dancing for a woman!
Its elaborate shape and vibrant colors.
Look at him dancing! Putting so much effort into it. Look at him.
As is so often the case in the mating game, it's not the males, but the females who call the shots.
Look at him trying.
The more compelling the dance,
Faba's cooler than you?
the more likely she is to accept
Maybe.
his advances.
But you know what's cooler than both of us? Spiders.
This mating ritual can
They're
go
very
on
ecologically important.
decades,
Wait, this means I can spam. Does it?
but at last, his performance is rewarded.
But yes. Listen. I think peacock spiders and jumping spiders are on the same level for me. Like, they're both A-tier spiders. But, like, peacock spiders are definitely better than jumping spiders. Because, like, they're just, like, the peak of all jumping spiders. How's he doing? I find this so disturbing, but I need channel points. He's dancing! He is dancing for his woman. He is dancing for his woman. He's dancing for a lady. Are you gonna hate him for dancing for a woman? Because I would dance for a woman. I would dance for Faba. Easy. Here's a wholesome spider. This is a happy face spider. Or a Theridian growlator. They are native to Hawaii. And they have smiley faces on them. They have smiley faces. Look at this guy. He is happy as a clam. Look at him. How can you hate spiders when you have these little happy face spiders? Okay, what, like, nature was trying so hard to make us like them. Nature was trying so hard. Look, he's smiling. I always see that spider on the back of the U-Haul trucks. Exactly! Because it's a good spider. He's wholesome. He's a wholesome spider. He's a good spider, okay? I feel like even spider haters have to at least go, aw, he's got a smiley face. They're not even big. They're not even big. Look, they're tiny. It's cute, exactly. Look, they're small. He's not gonna hurt nobody. He ain't gonna hurt nobody. He's just smiling. He's just smiling, having a good time, okay? Like, a solid, like, A-tier spider. Jumping spiders are absolutely adorable. Exactly, that's why they're A-tier. I would also like to clarify that there is no F-tier on this list, and you know why? Because there's no F-tier spiders. There's no spider in the world that is an F-tier. No F-tier spiders. Not a single one. There are some pretty lame spiders, as we will get on this list. No F-tiers, though. Okay? No F-tiers. Every spider deserves my love. This is a diving bell spider. My dad used to have 2 tarantulas. Good. So diving bell spiders dive, as their name implies. I think they're the Arachnids aquatica. And they use webs, basically, to make little air bubbles. And they make these little air bubbles and they go underwater. And they just vibe. Like, they're vibing underwater. Like, look at it. He is just sitting. He is just sitting there. He is sitting and vibing. Look at, eating fish, living his best life. And they'll surround themselves in water. Like in a web that holds in an air bubble. So they can go underwater. It's so funny. And they make these little, like, underwater pockets. Like, that's cool. They're not very big. Like, they're pretty small. Like, he is living his best life. He saw a pond, and he said, damn, that's a cute pond. My dad has had a rose hair and 2 pink toes. I have had a rose hair and 2 pink toes. I have a rose hair currently. A rosea. Rose hairs and a pink toe are both on this list. So I will be ranking those. But yeah, look, he is living his best life. Those are the ones he can remember. Yeah. Diving bell spiders are living their best life, and I am here for them, okay? They're not particularly cool looking, but they are like a solid B-tier spider. They saw a niche, and they went, that looks cute. And now they can go underwater. And good for them, honestly. Good for them. His had more, but I can't remember what type they were. You know what, for your dad, we'll do the rosea next. So there's a few different tarantulas on this list. So the rose hair, specifically, I'm doing a Gramistola rosea because that's the kind that I have. There's 2 very common types of rose hairs. My first tarantula was not a rose hair, but my second tarantula is a rose hair, is a rosea. And I have one right down here. They're like they're a solid tarantula. Can you mute Frank? No, it's valid. Like, if I were to think of all the tarantulas that are commonly kept in the hobby, I would say that between curly hairs, blondies, and rose hairs, those are like the top 3 S tier, like, beginner tarantulas. I think in the grand scheme of tarantulas, rose hairs aren't all that interesting per se, but because they're so easy to keep for beginners, and they live so long, and they're great to get used to spiders, I think that they're like a solid B tier. Maybe not as cool as diving spiders, but they're a solid B tier just because they're so good at getting people into the hobby. Like, they're just, you know, they're good. They're also large, which is cool, and typically well-tempered. They're not always well-tempered. I have had, my rose hair hates me. But they're cute. They're a solid tarantula. They're a solid tarantula, and they're very easy to keep. And they're, you know. Like, look at them. They're cute. How can you get mad? He's a picture-perfect tarantula. How can you get mad at him? How can you get mad at him? How could you be mad at him? You can't. You can't be mad at him. He's wholesome. He's a wholesome tarantula. And he's living his best life. Fluffy spiders are always cuter. Exactly. And rose hairs are always like the epitome of fluffy. Very rarely do I see an unfluffy rose hair. Like, usually they've got like a good layer of hair on their butt and on their legs, and they're solid. Like, they're a solid tarantula. They live their best life. However, another common tarantula to keep in the hobby is a Costa Rican zebra. I'm doing a Samani, an A. Samani specifically. I cannot pronounce the first part of their Latin name. And they're also solid. My problem though is like, spiders are only good to eat. They can be. I've eaten tarantulas. They're not too bad. Zebra tarantulas are really cool. But like, they're always super skittish. They're always super skittish. And like, I've handled my zebra tarantula. I have one. Like, I've handled her. She's like fine. They're not aggressive. But they're really common to keep because they look nice, but like as an interactive tarantula, maybe not. To eat mosquitoes, that's true. Also, they do eat mosquitoes. Like, I love them. Like, don't get me wrong. I love them, but like compared to rose hairs are cooler. Zebra tarantulas are cool, rose hairs are cooler. I don't make the rules. So, he's going in C tier. I'm sorry. Lily, that's disgusting and not what I meant. In some countries, a lot of Asian countries, they eat spiders. Specifically tarantulas. And it is a good source of protein and a valid food source. And although it's not something I would prefer to do, I've done it. It's not that bad. I'm kind of afraid of spiders, but only because I've had bad experiences with them. I've never been bitten by a spider. I pick up spiders. I've never been bitten by one. Ever. They know I love them. I think, and the next one to do is a black widow. Spider bites have been mine. Yikes. Sure, you know black widows, the Latrodectus family of spiders. They have the red hourglass on the bottom. Decently harmful to humans. They cannibalize the males after mating, which is badass of them. However, they're just kind of lame looking. Like, super scary, deadly spider has a superhero named after it, and it's just a small black spider. It's just, they're not interesting. They're not cool. Like, hot take, they're not cool. Had like about 10 at one point on my arm. I picked up a ball of harvestman spiders, daddy long legs, one time. Now that was funny. I just picked a whole ball of them up. I scared everyone shitless. I was trying to sleep and I opened my eyes for a second. I saw a wolf spider like 2 inches away from my face hanging from the ceiling. I love wolf spiders. Look at it. What a boring spider. You're telling me this thing could kill me? Like, seriously. The really cool tailless whip scorpion isn't harmful and looks badass. Although, again, not technically a spider, but arachnid. This thing could kill me, and it doesn't even look cool. Talk D tier spider. Shit spider. Come on. Like, what the fuck? Look cooler. If you're gonna be deadly, look cooler. Need I say more? Once I woke up, and them long leg spiders, I don't know what they're called, on my face. I've only had one spider on my face. Like, I've only woken up to a spider on my face once in my life, and it was like a little tiny one, so I flicked it off. I've seen huge black widows. Yeah, but the thing is, even the biggest black widows I've seen aren't that big. Like, for a spider. When I tell you I screamed. Weak. You're weak. And here, we'll do the Australian black widow. I think they're called, redbacks. Redback spiders. Latrodectus, Hussalti. From the same family as the black widow, Latrodectus. This is Hussalti. And they're also deadly. They're basically the Australian brand of black widow. And again, why do they look so boring? Like, why do they look boring? This thing could kill me, and it looks just as boring. They're a little bit bigger. I believe. Like, they get a little bit bigger. Because, of course, they do. They're in Australia. That's a legal obligation. They scared the shit out of me, like, go away. Weak. Because I think redback spiders are just bigger Australian brand black widows. And, like, I just... Get a personality, honestly. Their only personality trait is that they're deadly. That's their only personality trait. And honestly, I don't care. Just like with the Black Widow, like, be cooler. Just be cooler. Be more interesting. Like, you've had all these decades to evolve, and you picked to just be deadly? Come on. Speaking of deadly spiders, there's also the brown recluse. I can't remember which one that is. I think it's one of these two. I'm blanking right now. I think it's that one. I'm gonna double check. But, like, again, this is, I think, the last one to have this, like, reasoning. Yeah, okay, it's this one. No, there we go. Okay, this one. It's like, again, their only personality trait is that they're deadly. There was also... I'm gonna switch this though. Redbacks are cooler because they're bigger. Like, redbacks are still cool because... Well, like, cooler because they're larger. But, again, still boring. This was one time I squished a spider on my foot. That's sad. I know two spiders came running out from under my foot where I squished the first one. That's sad, bro. You killed a mother. Yeah, hobo spiders and brown recluses look similar. But, again, brown recluses are, like, their only personality trait is that they're deadly. And on top of it, their fangs are so small, they can't bite through clothing. Brown recluses are the least coolest spider because their only personality trait is that they're deadly and they can't even bite through clothing. Like, I think they're, although their scientific name's fun because they're an L reclusa, which is just funny. I think that's funny. But still, like, overall, boring-ass spider. Here's another one that's kind of boring. Like, they're cool, but, like, we're boring. This is the American house spider, or house spiders in general. So the Parastitoda family. They're just boring. Like, they're not bad. At least they exist. Like, they're cool. They just sit. They exist. They live. They live their lives. Probably a little bit annoying to people when they're, you know, in your house. But, like, ultimately, they just exist. They just exist. They have a dump truck, though. No, my stream is behind. You're right. I told you so. Bop, bop, daddy long leg. Look at it. Like, they got a dump truck. Boring spider, fat ass. That's valid, okay? That's like low C tier. Like, you got a fat ass, that's fair. You know, I won't judge you. You got a party in the back. I'll let you go. You won't be bottom of the list. It's okay. No, look at daddy long legs. We'll do the daddy long. So there are two different spiders that are very commonly called daddy long legs. There's cellar spiders. These are often called daddy long legs. These guys are those harmless ones that you'll see in the corner. This one's that I've never held, but probably would. Oh yeah, no, these ones I pick up all the time. Yeah, they get a little big sometimes, but like they're not gonna do anything. Like they just exist. They're vibing out. They're existing. The Folcidae. Solid spider family. They eat mosquitoes. They don't hurt nobody. They're not offensive looking. They just exist. They exist. And like when I see one in my room, I don't take it out of my room. I just let it sit in the corner. It makes a web. It eats the mosquitoes in my room. That's fine. I'll let it be. But there's another spider, commonly called a daddy long leg. Well, I say spider. Harvestman spiders are called daddy long legs. The problem is they're not spiders. Like, they're not spiders. I have nightmares because of you. Don't watch the stream, man. These are also called daddy long legs. They're not spiders because they're arachnids though. They're opilions. That's their family name or whatever. They're when you look at them, you can see they have one body segment. This is called a cephalothorax. I think when the head and the thorax are suffused, as opposed to a cellar spider, which when you look at it has a head and it has an ass. You know, head, ass. This one's just got ass. It's all ass. The whole thing is ass. There's no face. So they're both called daddy long legs. One's a spider. One's not actually a spider. Harvestmen, though, are the ones that will sit in big piles. They're the ones that sit in balls that you see, like, on TikToks. People will, like, put a... That's the one I squish and split into two? No! They're harmless! They are harmless. I have put my hands in things like this, and it's been just fine. They look like that one. That's sad. That's sad. I cannot believe you killed one. They just walk. They are just walking along they are existing in the world, and they're not hurting anybody. Yeah, harvestmen are the ones that sit in, like, big, scary piles. But I think if I had to pick, I'd put, like, harvestmen and, like... They're like C tier. Like, they're cool. And I put cellar spiders maybe above them, because cellar spiders, like, vibe in my house. And they eat the mosquitoes. They don't hurt me. We live symbiotically. We have a good time. So they're definitely above harvestmen, but they're kind of boring. They're not particularly interesting spiders. They're just, they exist. Well, they're not interesting arachnids. Let's do the fishing spider next. So these are the Dolomides spiders, I believe. And they sit near water. I don't care, COVID or not, stay 1.15 feet away. Fair enough. Fishing spiders just sit. They sit on the water and they catch water insects. They catch fish sometimes. Like they exist. They're cool. Like, again, just like with the diving spider. They found a niche and it worked out for them. Good for them. A little boring compared to the diving spider, but still cool. Like, they're still cool. I'd put them on, like, high C tier. Like, they're cool. Like, they got to the water, and they were like, I don't feel like evolving to actually go swimming. The diving bell spider was like, nah, I got this. Watch this. Let's do another tarantula. So this is the pink toe. It's a versicolor tarantula. Well, I think it's a versicolor tarantula. More specifically, it's a aviculera. They're a very common tarantula. You see them at like PetSmarts and Petco's all the time. They're really cute. They got little pink toes. I think it's really cute because tarantulas have retractable claws, like cats. And so they've got like these little pink toes and little retractable claws. So they're really cute. They're a arboreal species, so they climb trees and they stay high up as compared to the other tarantulas on my list, which are all terrestrial and they stay on the ground or in burrows. So these guys they climb. They don't get very big. I have one. She's cute. They're all cute. Spider Lily 3421. Exactly. True. Look at them. They're wholesome. It's a wholesome tarantula. They're not gonna hurt nobody. He's here for a good time. He's here for a good time, not a long time. And he's got little pink footsies. I think they're cooler than rose hairs. I think they're like top of B tier. They're just cute. They got their little footsies. Non-offensive spider. Like a non-offensive tarantula. We'll do crab spiders. I love crab spiders. They sit and they wait for things to land on like flowers and leaves, and then they just grab them. Them spiders worse than me dying a couple days ago. No. Look, they sit and they wait. And then an animal comes around, like a bee comes along, and they bite them. Look at them. He just sits. He sits and exists. He's having a good time. And they always sit funny. They sit funny. The Mizumento family of spiders are all very cute. I think specifically I did a goldenrod one in this picture. So it's a Masuda Lutea? I don't know. One look at them and my day is ruined. You are just so mean. They're cool. Like, they're not, like, super cool, but, like, they're cool. But not as... They're, like, right here. They're, like, between a tarantula and a daddy long leg. They kill bees. Yeah, they do kill bees. But it's part of the food chain. It's what they've evolved to eat. They also eat flies and hornets and stuff. Like, look, it's eating a wasp. That's good. That's good. It's eating a wasp. We don't like wasps. Wasps suck. Wasps suck. Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah, they eat bees sometimes, but that's what they evolved to do. Okay, you can't get mad at a spider for doing what it evolved to do. Okay, it sucks, but F tier for BDF. No F tier spiders. It is low tier. Fuck wasps. Exactly. Exactly. A wasp comes up to a flower and it's like, let me munch. And the crab spider's like, no, I will end your life. Fuck you. But the bees, I don't like insects. The bees, no, the bees are important. The bees are important. So it is a lower tier spider, but it's not the worst. It is not the worst. It's not the worst. Next we have a redwood spider. So these are actually native, so I don't really care. But bees are important. Bees are very important. This is a redwood spider. It's a Titiotus. It's got tit in the name, so unnecessary sacrifice IMO. True. This one's got tit in the name. Titautus. I can't do scientific names. Flavicins. Very funny. These scare my brother all the time. They get pretty big. They're bright red, and they just kind of exist. They're not the cutest spider, per se. Like, they're not the cutest. Probably a little bit scary for anyone who doesn't like spiders, especially because they are always in houses. But they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. The hell? Massive. Yeah, they get a little big sometimes. I have seen some very large redwood spiders. Like, they are the size of tarantulas sometimes. Like, they're massive sometimes. But, like, they're having a good time. Okay, I don't mind them. I think they're fun. I enjoy finding them. Why does it look greasy? I'd cry if I saw them in my house. They are in my house constantly. I see them in my house more often than I see them outside. Maybe that's why it's in our house. It's greasy. It's like, free living. It is a greasy spider. Yes, it is a very greasy spider. But, he's vibing, okay? Frank gets it. I wouldn't say that these are a very high tier spider, only because they are always in the house, but they live in a really cool environment, you know. They're kind of, you know, they've evolved in a very unique environment, the redwood forest. So you know what, they're like between daddy long legs and crab spiders. I think crab spiders are still cooler. I live in Belgium, so pretty much only saw them daddy long legs. That's fair, that's fair. Okay, next we'll do wolf spiders. Wolf spiders are cool. They're cool because they carry their babies on their back, and I like that. I think it's cute. They do look a little bit creepy sometimes. They are, you know, maybe they're not the cutest spider, but A, for good parenting. I think it's above a crab spider. Like, I think it's still cool. But, like, they're not, like, high up there. They're not the greatest. They're not the greatest. Like, it's, you know. They're okay. Next is not a spider. It is an arachnid, but not a spider. It's the, Solfigae family. It's a camel spider. Feelings in my back and there's nothing. It's probably a spider. Camel spiders are not spiders. They're very small. They're very small, okay? They don't get that big. They don't get that big. But they do look a little bit funky. They definitely picked a weird way to evolve. Like, again, they're not, like, that big. And they're not that offensive. But they definitely are not cute compared to other spiders. Or even scorpions. Like, they're not the cutest. You can find them down in, like, Arizona, Nevada. You can find them in the desert areas of America pretty well. Shut up, I'll cry. They're a desert species, Frank. You are probably never going to see one in the wild, ever. They also don't have a very long lifespan. Like, they don't live very long. Like, you know, I think you can find them in, yeah, I think you can find them in Afghanistan. You can see pictures of, like, the soldiers over finding them. You know, they're a desert species. You're not gonna ever see them in, like, a forest or anywhere cold. Super cold, anyways. But they're cool. Like, I think they're cool. They're not cute. They made a minor cry, cancel. Saying it's a spider on your back. The head kind of looks like ass cheeks of a pig. Exactly! They just don't look... Like, they just don't... They just evolved weird. In my personal opinion, they're B tier. I think they're cool. Like, I think they're really cool. I want to see one in person sometime. But they're just, you know, they evolved a little bit funky. We'll do the last... Well, no, let's do another spider. Let's do the giant huntsman spider. So these ones are the ones that you see in Australia that scare the shit out of people. The Heteropoda maxima. Also, they have hetero in the name, so they are homophobic. They are a homophobic spider, I have decided. And they're just massive. They're just a massive spider. Like, they're just massive. Yeah, exactly, mushroom. These are the scary Australian spiders. They're big. They're in homes all the time. They're not super aggressive, if I remember correctly. I think they are venomous, I believe. So, like, maybe don't get bitten by one. I don't think... Like, they won't kill you. But, like, you know, play it safe. Play it safe. No wonder they scare people. They're straight. Exactly! You know? They're just... They were cursed to be straight. And that really sucks. That sucks for them. You know, they like, I don't mind them. I think they're interesting. I think these guys are like, these guys are B tier for me. Like, they're cool. Next, we've got the hobo spider. A very bland spider. They look like brown recluses, so that's kind of cool. Mimicry, top tier. But they're just kind of, you know? They just kind of exist. They're not harmful. They're here. They're here. They exist. They're as interesting as a house spider. They practically are a house spider. Low of C, you know, and bottom of C tier, maybe. I would put them above house spiders only because they mimic, or at least they look like brown recluses. So, it's like funny. Let's do a scorpion. Scorpions. A solid, non-spider arachnid. They carry their babies on their back. They're kind of cute. They're cool. They've kind of evolved to be interesting. They've got the tail. They got the pinchers. They lay flat. There's some in the forest. There's some in the desert. They're edible. They're a good source of protein. They're not, you know, yeah, there's a few deadly ones. Yeah, their stings can hurt, but look, they glow. They got all these cool adaptations. They are like they're S tier. This spider tier list is being fucking topped by non-spiders because they're just cool. Scorpions are just cool, okay? S tier animal. I love scorpions. I am always here for. I have scorpions. I love them. They're great. I love my scorpions. I think they've evolved to just be super fucking cool. They're not as cool as tail whip scorpions, but they're pretty badass. I'm here for them. I'm always here for them. We'll do the Goliath tarantula next. Oh, really fun fact, the giant huntsman spider has the largest leg span of any spider. I would say a scorpion and a lollipop, a lot of people have. It's good, so you can eat them. So the Goliath bird-eating tarantula, Theraphosa blondie, is the largest spider by size and mass in the world. They're very large. I've seen one in person before, and they're so cool. Its claws stabbed my tongue and it hurt for a while. Then you ate it wrong. That's a you problem. I love these guys. They're super cool. They're super cool. I've seen one in person. I'm a big fan. Easily an S tier spider. They don't actually really eat birds all that often, but they can, and that's cool. Except every spider with Taylor Swift in the name is okay, I guess. Look at that. Like, what a solid spider. What a solid spider. It's large. It lives in the forests. It exists on the, walks around, and it has a good time. He has a good time. They've got some very big fangs because they are large. Yeah, they got some big fangs. But they're cute. They're cute. I think they're adorable. I think they are absolutely adorable. I think they're some of the cutest dog-like spiders. I love Goliaths. They are above scorpions for me. I love them. They're such a wholesome spider. Such a wholesome spider. They evolved perfectly. Next, we've got orb weavers. So gasteras. Specifically in this case, I can't remember. We got the spiny one. I can't remember the scientific name, but it's a spiny orb weaver. Orb weavers in general look cool. Spiny orb weavers look even cooler because they're just little tiny spiders with spines. Inoffensive. Very neat. I love orb weavers. Orb weavers are a solid A tier spider. Wholesome, and I love them. They're thick, they're unique, and they're cute. Golden Silk orb weaver. It is another orb weaver, but this one is, I just think they're really cool. I've touched them before. They're very fun. They look like bananas. I think it's so funny. He's got a banana ass. He's a wholesome spider. They're orb weavers, but cooler. I'm gonna get this one out of the way. It's the banana spider, or the Brazilian wandering spider. Not the greatest spider. They're just kind of mean. Like, they're not aggressive in the fact that they'll bite you, but they're very defensive. They've got this really funny defensive position. They can be dangerous, so it's not good to just, like, pick them up. And they just, you know, not the greatest spider. Again, you know, it's another spider that kind of just made its personality trait being dangerous. Like, look, their whole thing is that they're just aggressive. And they're just, eh. Banana spiders, not interesting. Top of D tier, though, because they walk a lot, and that's just kind of funny. They're just a walking spider. Next is a vinegaroon spider. They're not spiders. Again, arachnids. They're cool. I have had 3 in my life. I love them. These guys are great. I love these guys. Vinegaroons are great. They got these big claws for burrowing. They make these big burrows. And they're called vinegaroons because they spritz out an acidic mixture that smells like vinegar. And it's so funny. They're just... I think they're a very wholesome animal. They don't really... I've never had one bite. I've never had one attack me. I've never even had one go in the defensive position. They always just seem to be in a good mood. I have never had a vinegaroon be in a bad mood. These are S tier. Better than scorpions. I love them. We're in the home stretch. Last 2 spiders. We're gonna do the trapdoor spider. The Australian trapdoor spider, or Gaius Villas something or other. Trapdoor spiders. The longest living spider ever recorded was a trapdoor spider named number 16. Almost Roblox time. That's true. They're cool. I just love them. They make little trapdoors. Look. They make little homes with doors. They put doors on their homes. It's so wholesome. Like, it's so cute. Jesus, Connor, you have a lot of Pop-Tarts. What the fuck? Look at this guy. Look. He's got a little door on his house. This is so cute. Look at him. How can you not like a trapdoor spider? I love them. Signs of civilization. He's got a little house, and he's got a little door on his house. Doesn't he use the vibrations in the ground to catch prey outside? So, yeah. So what they do is they have their holes. They have their little trap doors. And they have webs that go out from the sides. So they have webs that go out of the sides, and they can feel when things walk across them. And they'll jump out when they feel those vibrations. Signs of person needs to go to psychological ward. Very cool spider, but also scary. Like, they don't look... Like, they look a little bit scary. That's true. But I think they're adorable. And they make little homes. They make little homes with doors. It's so polite of them. They're so polite. They're such a polite spider. I love trapdoor spiders. Some of my favorite kinds of spiders that aren't tarantulas. Cooler than the Goliath tarantula. I love trapdoor spider. They look very scary, but they pop out of the ground, which is scary. Yeah, that's fair. Last spider on the list, cobalt blue tarantula. Or the, oh god, they got a weird scientific name. Cryopagus lividus. Big ass name. But they're so pretty. They're so pretty. The only spiders, but I like blue. Like, Leah, look at the blue tarantula. Blue ass tarantula. It's so cool. I love them. They're decently dangerous and aggressive for a tarantula species. For tarantula kind. Like, they're pretty... You wouldn't die if you got bit, but it would probably hurt more than if you got bit by, like, a zebra tarantula or a rose hair. Their venom is a little bit more toxic, a little bit more potent. It's a Minecraft cave spider. Entomologist on the other hand. They're cool, though. I love them. I have held them before. They're so cool. They're gorgeous. I really want one. I really, really want one. MC Cave Spider is the only F tier. True. True. Cave spiders in Minecraft, when it's on hard mode or normal mode, they are F tier. They are F tier. I agree with that. That I will not argue with that. They're a very pretty tarantula. And I think, even though I know they're supposed to be aggressive, I've never been bitten by them. Like, they're a little bit touchy. Like, they're definitely reactive a bit. You said no spiders are F tier. Cave spiders aren't real, so it's fine. Well, there are cave spiders, but Minecraft cave spiders aren't real. They're my dream tarantula, besides a Goliath, or maybe a salmon bird eater. They're like right between trapdoors and Goliaths.